Books are extremely powerful. The most intelligent, most successful people on earth write what they've learned in books, and by reading the book, we connect to their mind, to their brains, and we can get lessons that would have taken years to learn otherwise. Books are an incredible source of knowledge, but also an incredible source of fun. In this video, I'll go through how I managed to really start loving, enjoying reading, and how I believe you can too. If you don't know me, my name is Adam, and I make self-improvement videos with the goal of helping you progress faster in your journey. So if you're interested in that, scroll down right now and click the subscribe button. First off, we need to fix the habit of reading. When will you read? Ideally, I think you should replace one of your current habits by reading. So remove one habit and replace it by reading. Because if you watch this video, you probably aren't used to reading consistently. For me, it was video games. I removed them, they took all my afternoon. I removed them and I started going to the gym and reading. For you, it might be watching movies before sleeping and you want to read instead. It could be something else. Just find the habit you want to remove and replace it with reading. You've got to find a schedule that's clear. You've got to decide at what time of day you're going to read. Because to start enjoying reading, you've got to do it consistently. Otherwise, it would be too rare for you to really love it. So once you've decided when you'll read, find out what you are interested in, what you want to know about. I suppose we all are curious about something at some point. It may be the gym, maybe you want to know more about how the muscle works, or the biology, or maybe you like money and you want to know more about business, or maybe like I did when I learned more about how habits work, and so I read Atomic Habits, or maybe you want to work more efficiently, and so that's why I read Deep Work. It depends. You've got to find what you are interested in, and then there are countless book recommendations. I'll make a video soon, I suppose, on it because it can be useful for you. You gotta understand that if you want to love reading, you should only read what you want to read. Now, of course, if you're used to playing video games, you won't like reading because your attention span is very, very bad. And so when you read, you probably get thoughts of other things and you can't focus on the words. Before, I remember I used to read 5 lines and then had to reread the same lines over and over again because I couldn't focus. In that situation, well, you can force yourself to read, but you won't really like it, which is why I'm not sure it's very good. I think you should just focus on fixing your attention span and maybe try and read at some point of the day. But if you can't really read because your attention span is too bad, no need to force it, I suppose. But so to love reading, you've got to read what you love. So ideally, you should get a list of the books that you want to read and get through them with what you're feeling like reading in the moment. Now, you should love all that's about reading, which means you should love the setup of the habit. What do you do when you read? Basically, just find a comfy setup. Doing things that you like. I like drinking tea. I like being in my bed. I like being on a couch. I like being at the pool, at the jacuzzi. So, when I read, I'm at these places with my little tea. I like eating blueberries, so I take some with me. You're gonna make it so that everything about the habit is fun, is something you like. This is what I learned from Atomic Habits, of course, and I think you know it too. Yeah, make it so that the habit is attractive, easy, and it's something you like. Now, I've seen that under some niche, fiction is seen as kind of a waste of time. It's like something we shouldn't read because we don't get practical advices. And I really disagree with this because I read only what I wanted to read. This allowed me to now really love reading. Now the basic thing I do is read. If I've got free time and I have nothing to do, I'll read. To make this, you've got to read only what you want. And so if you want to give fiction a try, just do it because fiction can be very nice. Of course, you won't learn as much through fiction, but that's absolutely fine. Especially if you had a big day, whether you read, whether you learned a lot, or whether you worked. Feel free to just read fiction before sleeping. I think that's good. Me, for example, a few months ago, I read Classroom of the Elite, which is a light novel, Japanese light novel. I read it and I really enjoyed it. I read it all basically. I spent something like 5 months reading only this. And I just loved it. This is what got me to really love reading. Before, reading might have been like a task, something I had to do. And with this, it just became the basic thing I do and the basic thing I love doing. It replaced what most people have as like watching a series before sleeping or playing video games. This is where I think there shouldn't be any specific goal with the reading habit. Mine, at least, was just to be healthy, because reading is obviously healthier than watching movies or series. And when you think about it, a few years ago, no, 200 years ago, what did people do? Did they have video games? Did they have movies? No. People's free time was spent reading because they actually loved it. So I think just to get back to how we're supposed to be, because current technology has kind of ruined our attention spans and how we currently work. We should, I think, aspire to get to read and to enjoy reading again. Enjoy the basic stuff of life, how life is supposed to be, not how life has been made by evil scientists. Now, the learning aspect, because still reading is an amazing source of knowledge and has brought me a lot of knowledge. I think that books are a great way to change your view on something. It's good for the basis, it's good as a pillar. For example, when I read this book, The Millionaire Fastlane, it opened doors in my mind about entrepreneurship that I couldn't have opened before. Reading it allowed me to see things I couldn't see before. And that's what the author allowed. By writing this, writing how he views something and how he managed to, like what he've learned basically through his life. By reading it, I enter his mind and I understand how it works. So this is the real power of books. You gain a lot of time. Just like with How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. When I read it, I understood much more about how social skills work, and it opened doors of things I couldn't understand before, and I got the principles of how you can better your social skills. This is where books are really strong. But books cannot be adapted to your specific situation. Books cannot be adapted to the current time. This is where internet comes in. I think that it's still very useful to watch a few YouTube videos or to get coaching, find a community, for example. This is where you'll get more practical, updated, specific knowledge. So I advise that maybe if you want, keep watching the videos if you find that they're useful. On the setup part, having a Kindle is the single best way to read, undoubtedly. This is the best thing I've bought in my life, I think. Because for $100 or something, you get a small device that can hold all your books, and the reading experience on this is even better than with paper, I think. Now, paper is also good, but it's heavy, it's more expensive, it's less practical. So this is why I advise that you absolutely buy a Kindle, because you'll read much more, and you'll start loving to read. Also, when you're bored about a book, you can just switch whenever you want, and it's very practical to just switch over different books. Okay, so I think I've gone through a few advices as to how you can start to love the reading habit. And this is something I wish for you, because it really is awesome when you're just used to read and you don't need all the stimulation that's in videos, movies, video games. It's really great, I think, and I wish that for you. The last thing I'd like to say is that if you're ever feeling like things are too hard, remember that it's not supposed to be easy. Otherwise, everyone would be doing it.